Welcome to Community Connections with Children's Services Council, the 1-hour commercial-free radio program that's all about what's happening with children and families in St. Lucie County. I am your host, Sean Boyle, and with me is
Ashley Mock.
Fresh back from your journey across America.
Yeah, it feels that way.
I'm glad that you decided to come back in time to do the show.
You're welcome.
I'd be lost without you. As I said at the top, we are 1-hour commercial-free, mostly because we don't have a sponsor yet and or we don't know how to push the right buttons. But we utilize this time, this 1 hour, together to connect people, our listeners and viewers, because we are televised by the St. Lucie County Education Channel, to connect people to what resources are available in the community and or events that are happening in the community. Hence our two guests today.
We have both of those things to talk about today, so that was a great opening.
I know, I'm pretty good at that, right? Now, if you're a first-time listener or a long-time listener, you could probably say this by heart as well as we can, but at the Children's Services Council, we are an independent district that funds children's programs. We currently fund 53 programs that last year reached over 34,000 children in St. Lucie County. And we have 5 priorities with our funding. Our first priority is to make sure every baby's a healthy baby, and that includes programs such as the Nurse Home Visitation Program that visits all new moms within 1 week of them returning home from the hospital to check on the health of the mother and the baby, and of course the stress level of the father. Our second priority is stopping child abuse before it happens. That's funding through programs such as that are offered through the Castle and Hibiscus Children's Center, for example. Our third priority is keeping kids off the streets. That's funding after-school programs so that kids have a positive, safe, educational environment to go to after school. Those programs include one of our guests today, the Boys and Girls Club. Get a little excitement? Yeah, they're in here with us. Boys and Girls Club and Avenue D Boys and Girls Choir, the YMCA. Our fourth priority is keeping kids in school. One way to keep them in school is to make sure they're successful in school. So one of our initiatives is through Big Brothers Big Sisters, providing reading mentors to children kindergarten through second grade so that they're at grade level reading by third grade. And then our fifth priority is keeping kids off drugs and alcohol. And that's kind of a multi-pronged approach. That includes our after-school programs such as the Boys and Girls Club, as well as our partnership and funding through New Horizons Student Assistance Program that provides every fifth grader with a research-based curriculum. But all said and done, we fund 53 programs, and again, last year it reached over 34,000 kids.
Which is an important number because if you look at the population of St. Lucie County, that's just about a quarter of the total population is under the age of 18, which is huge. And we've got several ways that you can learn more about those programs that Sean mentioned. Some of them we know people are familiar with, like Boys and Girls Club is a big one, but the excitement is dying down. But we've got a couple different ways that you can learn more about them, and one of the easiest ways is through our family guide that's basically like a little directory of all of those programs. It gives a brief description of what each one of those programs does and has contact information for you to reach out to them if it's something that you might need for your family. We also have now an app.
I wasn't done showing this off.
I'm sorry, Vanna. We have an app now as well where you can get access to the information about those programs as well right at your fingertips, which is great if you're out and about and maybe you run into someone or a coworker that has a question, and it's a really easy way to get the information and the number to those programs. You can actually dial directly from the app to those agencies, which is a great tool if you need to make a referral or make a contact. So the app is awesome. You can download it in both the Apple and the Android store. Just search for Children's Services Council or CSC SLC, and you'll find it there. The app is free. It's our favorite word. But there's a lot of information on there. You can also access our community calendar, which has all of the events that we post there, community events, which we're going to talk about later today. But you can get all kinds of information there, as well as on our website, which is a great tool. And our web address is cscslc.org.
You doing okay?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I drove home a long way yesterday.
When the camera moves away, drink your coffee. That's what I've been doing. But you mentioned our website. I also want to point out a couple things that are on there. We have a video. It's a short little 4-minute video. But, we talk about these 34,000 kids. And on the website also is our annual report that shows not only what our programs accomplished last year, because all of our programs have outcomes that they have to achieve. I'm getting a little in the weeds, but they have to show that they're making an impact. So all those are correlated in our annual report. But behind those numbers, behind, the fact that, 90 plus kids improved or maintained their academics, or 99% didn't get involved with the Department of Juvenile Justice, or more families found health care. There's actually success stories, people, families behind those. And we have a short little 3-minute video on our website. I think when you go to our website, it's on the top right-hand corner. But if you click on it, if you got an extra 4 minutes, turn off the radio program for 4 minutes. We won't mind. We'll be here when you come back. Watch the video. And it showcases 3 families and the impact that the Children's Services Council and our funded programs had on their lives. And it's very, it's a great video. I particularly like Stephen's testimonial. Stephen attended, I'm not giving anything away here, Stephen attended Future Generations, and he talks about in the video that he had a choice. He could have been on the streets, been in a gang, got into trouble like his friends, or he could have joined an after-school program. I think with lots of prompting from his mother, he joined an after-school program, and and he tells what it means to him. So by all means, check out that video. Again, our website is cscslc.org, and there's other ways that they can connect with us. Besides the radio program, do you want to talk about some social media outlets?
Sure. We have a huge presence on Facebook, and we share a lot of information there every day, including who the radio show guest is going to be every Tuesday morning. So if you're interested in who you're going to be talking to or who you're going to be listening to on Tuesdays, you can always find out who the guest is going to be there. We also share a lot of information about events, community initiatives, things that are happening around town. So find us on Facebook. Again, you can do that by searching Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County. There are other Children's Services Councils around the state of Florida, which we would love for you to learn more about, but we're a little partial to ours.
We're all St. Lucie County.
So you can get more information there. Facebook is a great tool for us. We're also on Twitter, which I have to admit Sean does a much better job at than I do.
Which isn't saying much, let's be honest. I'm actually, I sat next to our board. We have a 10-member board, and one of the people that's mandated to be on there is Superintendent Janelle Yost. And I happened to sit next to her at an event, and she's all about Twitter.
Yeah, she was great.
She's standing up, taking pictures, and I thought to myself, you know what, I don't have to do this now. I can just retweet everything that she does. So hats off to Janelle Yost for showing me how to use Twitter properly.
There you go.
All right, so I know we got a lot of guests, so I want to keep kind of this part short, but I want to recognize a group that we talked to, and I think we picked up a new listener.
Oh, good.
We're up to like 5 now. I had the opportunity to speak to the Cascades Women's Group last night, and this isn't our first introduction to the Cascades community. Probably we talked about it, Joyce and I, about a year and a half ago. I got an email from a woman named Joyce from the Cascades Computer Club. And what her computer club does is they take in residents' old computers and they refurbish them, get them working, load them with children's software, and they give them out to the community. And she happened to see something that we had either put in the paper or an article or something, and they had been giving out these resources to groups that some of their members knew, and a lot of them were in Stewart. But they realized that there's a lot of things happening in St. Lucie County. So for a year, I would get an email. This is Joyce. I have 6 computers. Do you know of a group? And we know of, there's like a waiting list, right? I know they've given some to the Boys and Girls Club, just recently gave laptops to some some members of the Chuck Hill unit. So last night, we had this email relationship. She would contact me. I would connect her with the program. She would go out, set it up, and then 3-4 weeks later, I'd get another email from her. But last night was the first night that we actually met face-to-face because she listened to our presentation at the Cascades Women's Group.
Very cool.
So she told me when I was introducing myself, and then afterwards we talked about the radio show, and she's like, I love talk radio. She's like, I grew up in New York. I got some New York people here. I grew up in New York, and I listened to talk radio all the time, and she listens to talk radio now. So I told her, our show was on Tuesdays at 11.
Did you tell her we were entertaining?
Well, when we get to that point, when we are entertaining, hopefully she'll notice that. But so anyway, she tuned in, and I just want to say a big thanks to Joyce for providing computers. I would say probably over the year, at least 100 computers she's provided.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a lot.
So it's been great. We've connected, I know, the Boys and Girls Club, the Save Our Children, Wavecrest, St. Mark's, a lot of agencies, and she assured me that if we still have need, they still have computers that they can put out. So I'm seeing some head nods from the Boys and Girls Club. They may have the next group tied up, but thank you, Joyce. And we did speak to the Cascades Women's Group, the first question we always ask is, who's heard of Children's Services Council? And, I would say there's probably about 100 women there, because it was the women's group. 100 women there. And I would say probably about maybe 15 hands went up. And then I did what you did. You told me that everybody has heard of Children's Service Council. A lot of people have. But then when you ask, what do we do? People can't really answer.
Could you explain it to somebody? Could you tell somebody else what we do? Normally they can't.
No. So we had a great conversation. Like I said, Jim Dwyer and I we probably presented for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and they probably had at least a half hour worth of questions.
That's awesome.
A lot of great questions. So, we've talked about it all the time. This information that we present on this radio show, the information that's in the directory, and this is what I told the group last night, it only does this community good if we share it. So, what we learned today, we need to share it. What's in that directory, we need to share it. So I kind of challenged them all, because, the Cascades is a 55 and older community. And, when I asked, who has children here, there weren't that many hands that went up. I asked the question, who knows somebody recently who's given birth? And like 0 hands went up. And then I said, well, I should know my audience before I ask these questions, right? So, but they're active in the community. They, whether it's congregation members or, maybe their neighbors have grandchildren that live here. We need to spread this information on. And it was a great opportunity. And it was funny because it really stemmed from, because I was kind of curious. I'm like, why did Cascades call us to come present?
Yeah.
And what it was is one of the members of the Cascades Women Group happened to be the member of the Port St. Lucie Citizens Police Academy who saw us present and said, you need to bring Children's Services Council on to present. So we
cool.
get around.
We do, and that's a good kind of segue to say that we will come talk to any group. If you've got a group that you think might need to learn more about some of the programs that we mentioned on the radio show, we'll come talk to anybody, really. And Sean always jokes we can do it for 5 minutes or we can do for 50 minutes.
I've never seen us do it for 5 minutes, but I think if you told us it's only 5 minutes, we could.
It could happen. But if you're interested in that, if you have a group that you want us to come talk to, just give us a call at the office at 408-1100.
Great. And we're going to jump to our guest, but before we do that, let me do station ID every 15 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to comment on the...
I updated this for you.
I appreciate that. I want to remind everybody you're listening to Community Connections with Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County on legendary 1400 AM WIRA. And those longtime listeners and viewers, here goes me attempting to get this absolutely right. And I'm going to read it, and I apologize. WLX-TV St. Lucie County Education Channel, Comcast Channel 13 in Fort Pierce, Channel 19 in Port St. Lucie, Hometown Cable, Channel 19, ATT Uverse, Channel 99, and Lightstream Cable at St. James, Channel 65.
Yay.
Not too bad.
I'll clap for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You did good.
Do you want to introduce our... She's busily she's working. She's connecting
stop
people.
Working, but that's okay.
That's a good thing.
And I would guarantee that if we gave out her phone number first, everybody would know who we were talking about.
Yeah. 626-5616.
Her phone number is probably out there kind of everywhere in St. Lucie County, but that's okay. That's what she's here for.
Not on any bathroom walls. It's all in a good way.
No.
Oh, really?
All in a good way. But we've got today from Healthy Kids, Danny Pierre-Louis with us, who is that lady that you see out in the community everywhere. I see her everywhere.
I gave her number out last night at the Cascades Women's Group. Yes, I did.
That's why I got that fun number around 11:30.
You probably get phone calls all day long, don't you?
Yes,
I'm
I
surprised
do.
your phone's not ringing right now, but that's okay.
That's all right.
I think it was. She was checking on text or something.
So, Danny, we would hope that by now everybody is familiar with Healthy Kids Insurance and the Kid Care program. But for maybe somebody who's listening who hasn't heard about it before, give us a quick overview of what Florida Kid Care does.
All right, Ashley, I'm back again, and it's always a pleasure to be here to talk a little bit about children health insurance. The first thing I'd like to say is that I work for Healthy Kids of St. Lucie County, which is a wonderful organization funded entirely, mostly by the Children's Services Council, and we're grateful for that. Because of them, we are able to link the families with health insurance for their kids. What is the Florida Kid Care program? It is health insurance for children from birth until they turn 19 years old. Now, the Florida Kid Care Program is funded mostly by the federal government through the CHIP program. Every state has a CHIP program. In Florida, it's called Florida Kid Care. And how do people get involved into the Florida Kid Care? The first thing I'd like to reiterate is the fact that everybody qualifies. I'm going to say that again. Everybody qualifies. Now, somebody would say, well, we applied and they say we did not qualify, and I would just say to you, you probably did not qualify for one program, but you would definitely qualify for something. The first part is for people who really don't have, who are not working, unemployed, who don't have any money, who earn very little. Those people would probably get into the Medicaid part of the Florida Kid Care, because that's the portion where you really pay very little or nothing at all. That's the Medicaid. Then for people who make moderate income, there is the other part, which is the subsidized program. The subsidized program is when they look at your income and look at your family unit and say, okay, well, you don't qualify for Medicaid, but we can get you subsidized health care, where you pay $15 to $20. And once you qualify for $15 or $20, it's not per child, it's for the whole family. Regardless of the number of kids, if you qualify for subsidized health care, it's $15 or $20 a month. Then there's the other one, which is the full pay option, where if you don't qualify for Medicaid, you make a little bit more, and you don't qualify for the subsidized health care, you would get the full pay option, where right now it's $153 a month per child. And for children between 5 and 18, you pay $155 a month per child. And if the child is under 5, you pay $196 a month. It's a little bit more expensive, and of course, it is not for everybody. However, it is more for people who, for instance, you have a health insurance at work and it's too expensive. You cannot cover your kids, and then you have a huge deductible. The good thing about the Kid Care full pay, you don't have a deductible, you don't have copay, and it is comprehensive. It covers everything from your kids' checkup, regular checkup. You take them for their immunization, the dental, behavioral. All the care is covered.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned behavioral, which I think is an important note, because a lot of times we encounter families where maybe the child is having some behavioral issues and they're looking for diagnostic testing or things like that, and they may not qualify for early steps if the child is older than 3 years. But Healthy Kids does cover those kinds of things or treatments for those issues.
Yes, Healthy Kids, it does cover that, and they have a specific network where they would refer the child to the specific network. The one thing I did mention, and which is very important, the children medical services. Also, it's one option for children who have chronic issues and that have acute and something ongoing that needs case management and intervention and a lot of care. Those children are referred to the Children Medical Services. I'm always saying Children Services Council.
It's because you say it so much.
I know. I can't stop saying Children's Services Council. Okay, well, it's the Children Medical Services. And for whatever the reason, if the child needs ongoing medical needs, and if it's emotional needs, like I mentioned earlier, behavioral problems, the child is not learning well in school, for instance, a lot of time, the school will make a referral and the parents don't know where to go, or they don't think that they can cover it, with their own money. If you have Florida Kid Care, that's taken care of. The child will be able to get the assessment, the evaluation that he or she needs, and will get the care. Hopefully, we'll get the child ready to learn. So that's why, to us, it's really important. It isn't a no-brainer for families. If you have children that are healthy, they are more successful. They are happy kids, and that's what we want: productive children, productive, healthy families, and healthy communities.
You mentioned the subsidized care, $15 to $20 a month, even the full pay. Having been in the marketplace for health insurance, $153 a month is pretty competitive, and to have no deductible, is, that's unheard of.
That's unheard of. It is. Last year, there are some local businesses who had seen a huge surge in their health insurance costs. And for those people, the Healthy Kids, the Florida Kid Care Program was a godsend, really, because they were a situation where families would have to pay $900 a month, $1,200 a month just to add 2 kids to their policies. Wow. And that's where all those people were able to get their children covered onto the Florida Kid Care Program. And we are happy to say that we had a surge of kids covered through the program in our county. And we were here, and thanks to the Children's Services Council, we were there ready to help when those families needed a place to go to make sure that their kids are insured and have their medical home. Very important.
We've on the radio program and television program, we've talked about how we've been very involved in the chamber lately to, make sure that business owners and employees know what resources are out there. And, when we always do, who's heard of the Boys and Girls Club? Every hand goes up. When we say Healthy Kids or Kid Care, all the business owners are very much aware of that, probably for that exact reason that you just gave. That's an option that they provide for their families, knowing full well that, their company's health insurance, like you said, to add one child may be an extra $900 a month.
Yes, it is. To us, it's very important to get the kids covered. But not only that, because of the Affordable Care Act, even if you're not a fan, it is something that is also good for families. That way we know that everybody has the opportunity to get coverage. Last year, we were able to help a lot of families because before we used to help the families with the kids' health insurance. And they always ask us, what about grown-ups? What do we do? Because our job does offer insurance. What do we do? And we were able to assist those families because generally, if the parents are covered, the kids are most likely will be covered also. So we put the emphasis in the whole family coverage. And I'm just going to let you know that we will again have some workshops in the fall at the Parent Academy. And we are willing and ready to provide those workshops at different locations. If you would like us to come to you and present about the Florida Kid Care and the Affordable Care Act, we will be more than happy to come and do a presentation to your employees, to your church group, to your synagogue, whatever group that you have that you know that people may benefit from having health insurance. And we also have a workshop about not only the Affordable Care Act, but we have a workshop about basically health literacy. Tonight we're going to have one workshop at the Parent Academy, and it's going to start at 5:30. It's not too late to register for that. You come and learn a little bit about what is a copay, what's the difference between a copay and co-insurance, what is the out-of-pocket maximum, what is all this thing about? Because if you're going to get health care through the marketplace, you're going to have all these topics, all these issues that you're going to be faced with, and you need to know what they are in order for you to be a good consumer and buy something that you can use and that's going to be good for you and your family. So those workshops, we're going to offer them. The first one is tonight at the Parent Academy, and we're going to have Kid Care enrollment, ACA enrollment, all that to come. And certainly Ashley and Sean will have information about that, and you'll
we
know.
Always share your information, Danny.
I know, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Well, let's actually do that, because I know we've talked a lot about what the different programs mean, but how can people get enrolled if there's a family that's listening that doesn't have insurance for their children? How can they get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with Florida Kid Care to get enrolled?
Okay, you have options. That is good. We always love to offer different options for families. You can call me. The number that's given almost every week is 772-626-5616. You can call me and I can give you more information if you would like for me to assist you with doing the application online. That's my job. Part of my job is to do that. Also, if you would rather call the 800 number to get more information, I will give you that number. It's 800-821-5437. 800-821-5437. 621-541-5437. You'll get the Florida Kid Care helpline directly, and then they can answer your questions if you would rather not, if you'd rather talk to someone that's not local. But of course, I don't see why you would want to talk to me, because I'm friendly and I'm helpful and I'm willing to help. So do call me at 772-626-5616. Now, if you apply for Kid Care and you're told, okay, your child is eligible for Medikids or your child is eligible for Healthy Kids, don't worry about that, because that's just the name of different programs based on the child's age. It's the same Florida Kid Care program. It's just one program. And if you go online, you can also access floridakidcare.org. One word, floridakidcare.org, floridakidcare.org. And if you go on that website, you can do an application online. If you are computer savvy, you're very easy to use the computer, you have no problem dealing with the internet, and you can do it by yourself. But then if you get stuck, call me. I mean, I'll just help you through it. Again, there are ways to enroll your child. You would call the 800 number if you want. You could call me locally, 772-626-5616. Or if you'd rather do it yourself, you go to floridakidcare.org and you can do an application online.
I'd really encourage everybody, if you have any questions, to call Danny at 772-626-5616. Part of the reason why Children's Services Council helps provide funding for Danny and her role in the community is because, you know, when you go and apply, there are, I don't want to get too much into the weeds, but it's a state program, but there's like 5 different sources, and it gets kind of confusing.
It does.
But we streamlined all that because all you got to do is call Danny at 626-5616. She'll take all that confusion out of there. And even, I would say, even not only new enrollees, but if somebody is currently on Healthy Kids and maybe they get a letter or something in the mail and they don't understand.
I was actually going to mention, Danny helped a friend of mine just, I guess it was probably about this time last year. They had moved to a new home. They'd gotten a letter in the mail that said that their daughter was no longer eligible for Kid Care, and they were panicked because she got sick and they needed to take her to the doctor, and they weren't sure what they were able to do. But I was able to give them Danny's phone number, and in the matter of a couple of hours, she identified the problem, got the right paperwork fixed, and she was able to go to the doctor the same day. So it's so important. If something like that does happen, don't panic. We've got somebody locally that's here.
We've got someone. We've got your back.
That's right. That's what Danny is here for.
We got you covered.
We got you covered.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Florida Kid Care, health insurance for children. We've got you covered.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing with us today. We'll look forward to hearing about the dates that are scheduled for the enrollment
Absolutely.
event.
Yes. We need to let people know because we will have a lot of people there, not only people from Florida Kid Care, we'll have the navigators from the ACA. They'll be there. They will assist everybody, whether or not you have small kids, you have grown kids, you yourself is a senior who would like just some help with your insurance. We want the whole community to be a healthy community, and we know it's contagious. If your family has insurance, you want your friends to have health insurance, your school have health insurance, everybody needs to be covered. That's our job.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to make sure, I just made a little note to make sure that we always give your number out almost every show. Now we're going to have to mention all your upcoming events too, so that everybody is covered.
Thank you. I'm very grateful that I have you and that you are my PR arm.
We're going to say,
We'll do that anytime.
we're going to say get covered because Danny's got you covered at 626-5616.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Danny.
you. Let me pause real quick for station ID as we transition. Okay. I got some.
I was waiting for them to cheer.
I want to
Cheer.
remind everybody you're listening to the cheerful Community Connections with Children's Services Council of St. Lucie County on legendary 1400 AM WIRA, or you're watching us on WLX St. Lucie County Education Channel, Comcast Channel 19, and Port St. Lucie Channel 13 in Fort Pierce, Hometown Cable Channel 19, ATT Uverse Channel 99, and Lightstream Cable at St. James Channel 65. I went out of order, but I think I got
You
it
did?
right. Yeah.
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. I was saying bye. And
Thank
hi.
you, Danny.
Hi.
All right, so these people have been waiting very patiently. We told them we were going to give them grief.
These people. Well, they're very bright
Yes.
today.
And yes, for our television viewers, if we had known that they were going to wear this, we would have worn just as bright of colors. We'll try to coordinate that better. Do you want to introduce? I was joking. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Well, we joked a little bit at the beginning of the show about Boys and Girls Club and how everybody recognizes Boys and Girls Club, and they probably would recognize these two ladies too. Our TV viewers probably know who they are. But we've got Megan Reeves and Linda Soto with us today, and we're going to talk about a couple of different things, but let's talk to Megan first. We'll let Linda off the
We
hook
may or
for
may
a
not
second.
talk to Linda. Let's just see how her behavior goes during this time.
As long as she's good today.
You know, I forgot to mention, just in case anybody's listening, or for the listeners, I should say.
Just anybody?
If
Like
at any
one
point
person?
you want to join in on the conversation, you can call us directly at the station at 464-1400. We accept all calls.
We'll try to answer them.
All right. I say that just in case anybody wanted to call and give Megan or Linda a hard time.
Oh, well, now they're going to blow up and we're not going to be able to answer them all. But, no, Megan is here today to talk about a special event that you guys are planning that Linda's helping with. I'm not excluding you.
It's quite all right.
But, Megan, tell us a little bit about the Day for Kids and what's going on.
Okay, great. Thanks for having us, first of
push
all.
this.
Day for Kids is a nationwide initiative by Boys and Girls Club of America. The day we chose was September 20th, which is this Saturday. The event goes from 10 to 2. It's free admission, open to the public. We want to just have a day of kids and families. It's going to be a lot of different activities going on. We got bounce houses, petting zoo, pony rides. We have different food trucks and everything coming all out. Our junior staff from the Boys and Girls Club will be coming in to assist all the activities that's going to be ran. Arts and crafts. I know Linda's doing a booth. You guys are setting up a booth. So it's going to be a day of fun.
You know, we were talking about, before it went on air, we talked about what we're going to have at our booth, right? Or what we're going to do to attract kids. But you're going to have food trucks and a petting zoo? Nobody's going to come to our booth.
Well, that's what Linda said
all
that.
right. They won't come to your booth and they probably won't go to mine anymore. And we'll talk
We'll
about
all
that
go
in
to
a
the
little
petting
while.
zoo.
Maybe if we go over to the petting zoo, we'll bring some
That's
kids
right.
back with us.
That's right.
See?
Well, that sounds exciting. All right, so it's this Saturday.
This Saturday.
September 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And where's it going to be held at?
It's going to be at Kids Crossings Playground, Rotary Park, right
So,
there.
yeah, tell everybody just in case they're not familiar with
Right
where
there
that's
on the
at.
corner of Virginia Avenue and South 23rd Street. So you'll see us. You'll see all the excitement going on from Virginia Avenue.
Can't
wait.
Can't miss it.
So who planned the activities? Did you
it
and Linda get in a room and said, petting zoo, food trucks, maybe the Children's Services Council?
It actually was a committee. We started back in the end of May, and then summer came and took over. But then we came back full force early part of September to get together and just bouncing ideas off of different staff who joined the committee, and this is everything they came up with. So,
Very
Nice.
cool.
Teamwork.
yeah.
So it's the day for kids, and you said this is a national event. So is it driven by the Boys and Girls Club, or like on September 20th? Are there across the nation? Are we going to be part of like this huge petting zoo?
Well,
Sean's
actually,
getting really
with
excited.
Boys and Girls Club, you have between September 20th and I want to say the first week in October to have a Day for Kids event. It's just the day. The pledge is actually to spend meaningful time together, to talk, to listen, to learn, to play. It's just for all families, for kids. We chose September 20th just because we wanted this is the kickoff, and it also coincides with Nickelodeon's Worldwide Day of Play. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's when Nickelodeon shuts off their entire network.
Really?
And it's all about going outside and being active.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it just so happened we chose that day, and it all...
It all worked out.
It'll be very crowded because you can't watch Nickelodeon that day, right? You got to come. So who would you know, if our listeners and viewers, grandparents, parents, who's the target audience? Just any children?
All children, ages 6 to 18.
Nice.
All children. There's a lot of activities going to be going on for all ages. So, I mean, even with the petting zoo, I'm a staff. I'm supposed to be working. But,
We'll find you in the petting
you
zoo.
know, even with the bounce houses, I'm like, okay, how can I get over to the bounce houses at least one time through
And the
those?
bottom line is we're all children at heart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got visibly
Open to everyone.
excited that we're going to have a petting zoo. So do you want to grab this?
We can try, yeah.
Right.
We're going to try to answer the phone.
We are going to answer the phone.
Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, who are we talking to?
We're talking to Dave.
Dave, how are you?
I'm doing good.
What's going on, Dave?
Nothing much.
What's up,
Dave,
Dave?
do you know you called a radio station?
Yes, I did. I do know I called. My real name is not Dave.
I know. How you doing, Mike?
Weird.
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? Hi, Ashley.
Mike's playing jokes today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's up, Mike?
Nothing much. I called to just chime in and have fun with my crew that's over there and have fun with you guys.
Are you getting prepared for this day of play, apparently?
For Day for Kids, yeah. It's a great day. Hey, you know, it's amazing that we have Groundhog Day, we have Mother's Day, Father's Day, and we have all these different days, and, you know, somebody finally got it right and said, let's have a day for kids.
You know, Mike, when I was growing up, I asked my parents that. I said, how come there's a Mother's Day and a Father's Day? And my father told me, he's like, every day is Kids' Day.
Yeah, well, it's not true because, you know, then we become grown-ups, and it's like we use the same stories on kids. We're
Exactly.
like, oh,
That's right.
It's Kids' Day. It's not. So this Saturday is going to be a fun event, and I just wanted to call in and thank the staff, Megan and Linda, and their crew for putting together what's going to be a fun-filled Saturday for a couple of hours, just hanging out and spend some quality time with kids, and let's just have some fun.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah, and just wanted to thank Children's Services Council. You guys do a phenomenal job. Great radio show. I love that. It's filled with laughter.
Hey, we try.
Every time I turn around, all I hear is Ashley laughing.
Hey!
Which is great because the world needs more joy.
That's right. That's right.
So I just called in to chime in and put in my 2 cents and say hi to Linda and Megan.
They're looking at us, Mike. They're looking at us because Ashley and I are the only ones that can hear you. So
They have no idea what
They're
you're
watching
saying.
us bob our heads up and down.
Oh, I mean,
We'll tell them all the bad things that you said about them.
exactly. I mean, you know, there were no pay raises. There were no other things that I'm committed to. I'm not buying them lunch. None of that
No
stuff
pay
is
raises,
happening.
no
So
lunch.
Is there
Gee.
What's any different?
Oh,
Megan's sad.
Mike, they just walked out.
okay. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your show and keep up the great job.
All right,
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Mike, Dave.
bye-bye.
He's such a jokester, that guy.
He has
Calling
such a
in-
distinctive voice.
I
Like,
know.
we didn't know it was Mike. But for our listeners and viewers, our guests can't hear because we don't know which buttons to press to make it. But Mike just wanted to thank the staff, and particularly you two, for all the hard work that's gone into planning this Saturday.
All right.
We
Well, we're
we know
very
how
excited.
event planning goes, so
And he said he was going to work the petting zoo the whole time, or the food trucks.
yeah.
He didn't say that.
I have a feeling that Mike is not unfamiliar with fun, so
Yeah.
we'll find him somewhere playing on Saturday, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, it sounds awesome. Megan, give us a quick recap again of where and when, and if people need more information, how they can get in touch with you.
Day for Kids this Saturday, September 20th, 10 to 2 at Kids Crossings Playground, Rotary Park, corner of Virginia and South 23rd Street. Free admission, open to the public. Call me at my location, the Infinity Unit, 460-7868. I'll be happy to talk to you. Or you can call the administration office at 460-9918.
Awesome.
So it's just like we talk about, do you want to do your voice again when people say there's nothing to do on the
I
weekends?
can't. Now I can't do it.
She has this
On
voice,
command.
there's nothing to do on the weekends.
You guys probably hear
We're
kids
all
say that
right.
all the time,
Right.
don't you?
Absolutely.
Kids say that all the time.
Absolutely.
So there is something to do this weekend.
Yes.
It's this Saturday. Take your children, your grandchildren, to what's the park again? Rotary Park.
Rotary Park.
Kids
It's
Crossing.
Kids Crossing, Virginia,
Newly renovated.
South
Yeah, the
23rd.
new playground.
right by the Board of County Commission building.
Yes.
Stop by. There's going to be petting zoo, arts and crafts. Linda Soto's going to have an exciting table. We're going to have an exciting table. There's going to be food trucks. Can I talk a minute about the food trucks? What does that mean?
You've never been to a food
I've never
truck?
been to.
Are
I
you
kind of
kidding?
vaguely know what it is, but
What?
I've never been to a food truck invasion. I was there when they started swarming because we were there for one of our events,
Oh.
but we were
the
packing
food
up
trucks are a
and we
good
left.
time.
So what's a food? What kind of food trucks are going to be there?
We're still in the planning stages,
Okay,
so it'll be
okay.
a surprise once you get
It's
there.
not going to be like Mike in a pickup handing out hot dogs or anything.
No.
Because that would be kind of fun too. But
No. Let's not have that.
okay. So plenty of fun for the family. Again, mark your calendars. You heard it here on our television radio program this Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. Come out, free event for children birth to 18. It's going to be something fun to do,
Or-
not only
or
for the
adult
kids, but clearly for the adults as well.
Yes.
Or adults that like to act like kids.
Exactly. That's
Like-
why we're going to be there. If anything, just come by. We're both going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just come by. Before I committed you. Come by. Stop by the Children's Services Council table. If you listen to our radio program and you haven't checked out the TV show, come say hi to us. Just walk by and say, "I hear your radio program."
We'll mark you down as
Get
the
better
fifth
at it.
listener.
Get better at it. Yes. But come by and visit us as well. And what are we going to have at our table?
Books.
Books.
Fun. We're gonna be
Fun.
right next to Linda.
Are we? Are we going to be next to
Yeah.
We're
Linda?
gonna have
All
books
right.
and fun and all kinds of stuff. So,
Who
we'll-
put us next to Linda?
Hey, I am so excited.
we're also going to bring along our neighborhood postcard project. So that is really exciting stuff. So, you've heard us talk about it on the radio show before. We'll have cards that kids can fill out for their favorite thing about this community. And then we will collect all of those and mail them to random addresses around St. Lucie County.
Do you remember? I have it in my office, and I know we're supposed to mail them out, but I kind of want to frame this one if it's okay. It's the one that looks like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Except he's purple, but it looks like somebody made the Kool-Aid Man. That is my favorite one. I brought it to a chamber event that was televised, and Teresa held it up and said, "It kind of looks like you." So now I for sure have to keep that one.
Oh, okay.
But
We
that
might
is
be
such
able to
a-
hold on to one.
But that is such a fun thing, and we always talk about it. It gets families talking about what community means.
Yes.
So come by our table, books. We're hanging out with Linda. Just come by to say hi to Linda.
Absolutely.
But come by this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Petting zoo, bounce houses, food trucks. Mike's
Free.
gonna be there.
Free.
Free.
It's our
Something to
favorite
do.
word.
And we'll put that on our Facebook page.
It-
It's already been on there a couple times.
It has. It's also on our community calendar with the poster that's got all the information from Boys and Girls Club on it as well.
So Linda, you've
Yes.
been awfully quiet.
Yes, I have.
Um,
I've been waiting my turn
so unlike you.
patiently.
So what's the big deal about? Well, I sound like Jerry Seinfeld. What's the big deal about September?
Well, first off, let me just start with a big shout out to Children's Services Council because I am the supervisor of our truancy unit. And Children's Service Council funds our truancy project program, which has been in existence since 2006. And I have been with the Boys and Girls Club since then, so I'm considered an old timer now. And
Joined when she was
this-
15.
yeah. This month is Student Awareness Month. And being a truancy officer, you know the importance of attending school on a regular basis. So, with that being said, we are having a booth, and at our booth, we will be making dream catchers to talk about our dreams and how, with schooling and education, you can be successful in life. Also, we're going to do some spelling bees and math questions. It's going to be fun. I'm going to make schooling fun.
I just got a little nervous when you said math quiz. I'm like,
Wait, what?
our table's going to be next year's. I don't want to be involved in that.
I'll make sure that I give you some
I
simple,
promise that it'll
basic
be
math.
fun.
It will be fun.
Well, and we talk a lot about truancy, and we've been at public information sessions when we've been giving presentations, and people always kind of question what the truancy program is. What does that mean? What are you guys doing? But we track the numbers. We know how many kids are skipping days. We know how many kids are missing days. And that really is why the truancy program was put into place. And Sean actually sort of mentioned it at the beginning of the show. Kids can't be successful in school if they're not in school.
Correct.
So it's kind of that first hurdle to overcome, and making sure that they're learning and they're learning well is making sure that they're showing up on time, that they're showing up at all. And that's really one of the things that you guys focus on.
Absolutely. One of the things, we target the elementary students, and we feel that that age is of importance because that's where you're building foundation and, the responsibility, because as we know, it carries on with us in the future. So if we don't have good foundation early on, as we get older, our sense of responsibility is not going to be as structured. So we target the elementary students, putting the onus on the parents because it is the responsibility of the parents to assure that their children attend school every day.
And I know from stories that we've heard from the truancy program, sometimes there's an underlying situation that is causing the family to not make it to school, or the child to not make it to school, but there's a team that works with that family to kind of identify what those problems are, find a solution, and make sure that that child starts attending school every day.
Absolutely. We are kind of a liaison between the parents and the school. We're there to assist. Yes, we are coming to your home. We're making phone calls to you saying that your child has missed X amount of absences, but we're also there to help. There are circumstances. It could be a transportation issue. It could be a health issue. It could be a housing situation. There are services in the community that are available to everyone, and without us knowing or without the parents verbalizing these issues or concerns, we can't assist them. So it's important to, yes, assure that your child attends school regularly, but if there are circumstances which we understand occur, to make sure that we're aware of it so that we can refer to the appropriate resources.
And you've actually, one of the reasons why you target elementary school students is because by law, it is the parent's responsibility. And if after providing services or resources for them to, mitigate whatever situation it is, if they continue to not send their child to school, you can actually hold them accountable. I mean, they can actually go in front of a judge and be held accountable.
Yes, that is correct. We do.
I know that doesn't happen very often at all, but
well,
in some cases that's what
we try for it to not happen very often.
Unfortunately, we do have families that we've made contact with, and the absences do continue. So at that time, yes, we do have to follow through after our diligent efforts in trying to assure that the child attends school regularly. That we need to bring the matter to truancy court. And in those situations, court is held monthly, and the parent is required to attend court on a monthly basis until their child's attendance improves, and improves significantly.
And it all stems down to, one of our priorities, keeping kids making sure kids stay in school or successful in school. You can't do that if you're missing 10, 15 days. That's, anybody that has a child in the school system, if you have an unexcused absence and you turn in your homework late, they don't accept it at full credit. I think the best you can start off with is at one point it was like a 59.
Yeah.
So you automatically start with an F, even if you get them all right. So it's so important that, that's if it's unexcused. I want to clarify that. So it's important that, kids go to school and that the parents understand, because I know I've, read the stories and talked to some of your team. A parent won't send their child to school because they're sick.
Right.
And they're not going to work, so their child can stay home with them.
Right.
No, their child still needs to go to school.
Right.
And sometimes it's just a simple reminder. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but without them understanding the importance and the fact that there is some bite to the law, we'd have a lot more kids.
Absolutely. And the importance is that whether a child misses school or arrives to school late, they're missing so much crucial time in the classroom, time that they're never going to get back. They'll always be a little behind the other students because they've missed. So it is so important. If you want your child to succeed, if you want to see them become the best that they can be, we have to, as parents, instill that in the children to make sure that they too, know the importance and realize how important school is.
So is that what you're going to, at your booth?
Yes.
You're going to talk to them about the importance of school attendance, spelling bee. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty good at math. The spelling thing is what's kind of scares
Oh, really?
me.
I'm good at spelling, so maybe we could be a team.
Awesome.
Yes, and we're
Well,
not
maybe
going
we'll
to
just
make
work
it
our
too.
table.
We're not going to make it too difficult. It's going to be fun. We'll do it in a fun way. There's ways of learning, and cannot be fun, but you can also make learning fun. Whether it's putting your learning into a song or whatever it might be.
We don't sing.
And just what
I
we're
just got
going to
even
do.
more nervous.
Yeah.
Song.
Hey,
We do not sing.
come on, shout out, you guys. I promise you will have fun.
If there's singing
come
happening,
see me
it's Sandy.
and my team at my booth the truancy booth.
Give us an example of singing and learning. Can you do that?
Oh, yes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it goes on.
That is awesome.
That was great. See, if there's singing happening at the Children's Services Council, it's always Sandy.
Yeah.
No one else sings. It's just Sandy.
We all lip sync with Sandy.
Yeah.
And I know that, being a student in a classroom of 25, knowing the material and just that joy of raising your hand, knowing that you have the right answer is fun. But when you're that child that's sitting in the corner saying,
don't call
dear
me.
Lord,
Don't pick on me.
please
Don't pick on me.
call me. It's not so much fun. So education is very important for your success, for our success. And as adults, we continue to learn.
Absolutely. And we talk about one of our priorities is keeping kids off the streets. Well, the best way that we can keep our kids off the streets is make sure they're in school, right?
Exactly.
They're there for a long time. They should be there.
Exactly.
Do you have a number if somebody has maybe, I know that most of your families that you work with come directly from the schools, but is there any reason that a parent may need to contact you? And if so, how do they contact you?
They could reach me at 772-216-0062. And
sounds
I
like a
would
cell
be
phone.
happy to see, and I'm making it in a song.
Oh,
And
okay,
I'd be
I'm sorry.
happy to answer any questions regarding school attendance. And
Well, and we know that, sometimes, like Sean mentioned, it is a very simple fix. Maybe they need help with transportation. Maybe they've moved to a different home and they're having a hard time coordinating who's going to drop the child off at school. So Linda has a wealth of resources at her disposal, and if it's a simple fix, she can help with those things. So I would encourage anybody who may, have a situation where they're having some struggles, call her, because she's got a great team and a great book of resources that she can put you in touch with somebody to fix those simple problems.
And not only at my booth will I have activities for the kids and adults, because we are all children. I will also have a flyer of information to hand out to the parents.
Oh, awesome. All right, so we want everybody to come by, everybody that's listening and viewing, Saturday, September 20th, 10 a.m. You were looking at me like I got the date wrong. Saturday, September 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Rotary Park or Kids Crossing, right off of Virginia. You'll see all the bounce houses and the activities and the animals running wild in the pet zoo. The food trucks. You'll hear Linda's voice singing, educational, but more importantly, it's a fun, free activity for families. We hear it all the time. You want to do the voice?
There's nothing to do here.
Not bad.
Come to Fun Day.
Yeah, there is something to do. We're telling you here on this radio program and television program this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Be there. You'll have fun. Lots of free activities. Say hi to Megan, who was the main. Were you the lead organizer on this?
She is.
Chairwoman. This is a big endeavor. We know from putting together our own event. You look very relaxed at this time. But come out, support the Boys and Girls Club, but also come out and just support having fun. As you said, it's a day of play, and we're all kids at heart, right?
Absolutely.
Linda's going to be
again,
singing.
I'll sing. I'll sing for you. If you want me to sing to come to my booth, I'll sing. And again, I just want to give a shout out to the Children's Service Council for all that you do, because without your support, we wouldn't have the opportunities to do what we do
Thank
for
you.
the community.
Now, this is the opportunity. We got a couple more minutes left. I only got one more thing left to say, but do you want to give any shout outs to anybody that's listening? I know you have somebody that might be listening leading up to a special day.
Shout out to my kids who are in school at the moment.
They can't hear you, but that's okay.
They can see me on TV later.
Shout out to Terrell. I know you're out there listening.
Yay!
Yeah.
That means we have 6 listeners today.
Terrell, you could have called in. I'm just saying.
No pressure. No
And
pressure.
thank you, Mike Dave, for calling in. That's what I'm going to
Thanks,
call him
Dave.
from now on, Mike Dave. We mentioned a little bit at the beginning about what we do. We fund children's programs, 53 programs, and 5 priorities. Making sure every baby's a healthy baby, stopping child abuse before it happens, keeping kids off the streets. Why are you laughing
You're
at me?
going really fast.
Well, we only got a couple minutes. Keeping kids in school and keeping them off drugs and alcohol. I say all that because we were established by this community in 1990. On November 4th, 2014, Election Day, we will be on the ballot I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just telling you factual information. We will be the last question on your ballot. Question number 4, referendum, reauthorization of the Children's Services Council. And it's a relatively simple question. Shall the Children's Services Council be reauthorized to continue in existence? If the answer is yes by this community, these funded programs and these initiatives will continue. If the answer is no, we will finish out our year, and that money and the resources to those programs will be gone. And just to put it in perspective, of the 53 programs that we fund, 44 of them get 50% or more of their operating funds from us. We've already talked to the county. I had this conversation with 3 commissioners last week. There is no other entity to pick up the funding. The United Way can't pick it up simply because of the amount, and the county can't pick it up because of their cap space and the political will of the community if they vote no. So that's the simple implications of the yes or no vote. All we encourage you, we're not encouraging you one way to vote one way or the other. We're just encouraging you to get informed and make a decision. I think that's it. Is that fair?
Yeah, I would just add that we've been getting a lot of questions about it. There is information on our website that is strictly factual. It talks about exactly what Sean mentioned. If you have questions about it, you can always call us. We are available to share information anytime. But it is important to get educated and know what your stance is, not just for this issue, but for all of the issues that are going to be on the ballot in November. We had a really poor voter turnout for the primary election.
Less than 20%.
And we really hope that people show up in November because the only way that we have a voice in our political arena is to vote. So there are some important issues that are going to be on the ballot, including this one, and we hope that everyone gets out to get their voice heard.
And I've seen a sample ballot. It's pretty easy this year. It's just one page front and back.
Yes, and they're not long, so that's good.
Yes. So we want to thank you for tuning in. It's a weekly radio show, so a good chance we'll be back next week, every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Community Connections with Children's Services Council. This is our children, our community, our future. We're in this together. We'll see you next week.